Top 5 things that noobs do that you shouldn't be doing. I suck at intros, okay? Don't make fun of me. Okay, so the first thing that noobs do that you shouldn't be doing, this is probably the most important one, is swinging weakly. So, this is something you probably don't know, but depending on the way you swing, your damage changes. There's 3 damage types. There is green, that's green, where you deal your real damage. There's yellow, where you deal 75% of your damage, and then there's red, where you deal half damage. If you're dealing red, then that's not good. You always need to be hitting green. It depends on how fast you swing. So if you swing like this, then that's just bad. You're doing red damage. But if you swing hard enough, you can get green, which does more damage. One thing that a lot of people I see do in public servers is do this. You see how many reds I just hit there? You don't want to do that. That's not good. You're dealing half of your damage. This applies to every melee except for mage melee. You don't want to do this. You're dealing no damage. And it's also just stupid. It looks stupid. You're stupid. You want to actually swing so you can deal that good damage. And fling people, I guess. That was a pretty simple one, honestly. There's not much else that I have to tell you about that. Just make sure you swing hard enough. It doesn't have to be like a super hard swing that makes your headset almost fall off. Oh my gosh, I almost dropped that. Just have to be a decently strong swing. Not like this, but like this. Not like this, or like this, or like this. Alright, so let's just, so this next one is a little bit more big, because this applies to every single class, is to pick bad upgrades. There is a lot of bad upgrades in this game. Like, a lot of bad upgrades. So, I'm going to just tell you a bunch of upgrades that you really shouldn't be picking, because they're just not worth it. At least in normal runs, because I'm not an endless player. Ignore the fact that it says level 49, I don't like playing unless that level 49 was just a 3-hour game session with my friend that I just hated. It was boring. So really, mostly all of your fortitude skills are not worth going. In regular runs, you already have enough health. You have more than enough health with your Tekka skills. For fortitude, you don't really need any upgrades. If you're good enough, obviously. Some people do struggle, so going fortitude, you do need to sometimes, especially in endless. But if you're good enough, you don't need a single defensive skill. But if you are going to go defensive skills, there's a few you probably shouldn't go. Deflect, it sounds good, but you need to, if you want this to actually be worth going, you need to be like away from the enemy at all times, and you don't want to do that. You deal more damage up close, so you don't want deflect. You just want to get in there. Another pretty bad upgrade is Invictus. All it does is heal you. It's not terrible, but it's just that you're better off making it so you don't take damage over healing what you already took. Because take it like this: if you heal yourself when if you're dying, and if you heal yourself, you're not gonna win. You're just delaying your death. And while if you fully go on your defense, so you never die, then you're actually going to win. Here we are, toughness. Toughness is another pretty bad defensive skill. Same reason for Invictus. You're not making yourself like tankier. You're just delaying your, well, you are making yourself tankier, but you're still taking the same damage. All you're doing is delaying your death. You're not making yourself last forever. I would just recommend going metal, Sturdy, unstoppable. One of these actually stop you from dying over toughness, which all it does is delay your death. Then for bow, for infusions, ice arrows is not a good upgrade, like at all. If you hit an enemy with ice arrows, they get slowed down for half a second, maybe less, unless you're doing a sniper build. And then for agility, almost all of these are not worth going. Reflex reload is really good, I noticed that. Slowfall is incredible, but Lightfoot is not that good either. All it does is increase your jump speed, but you're better off just going Slowfall. Combining Slowfall and Lightfoot is a good idea, but you're better off just going Slowfall level 1 and nothing else. And then Sweet Revenge. Again, all you're doing is healing yourself. You don't need to heal yourself when you can just remove all of your damage, or just make it so you can't take damage in the first place with smoke bombs. Let me quickly show you how bad ice arrows are. It increases your damage by 5, which is the same as explosion, but look at how long the slowdown lasts. Look at that. That's nothing. You barely even notice it. Like, what's the difference? Almost nothing. The slowdown increases with your arrow damage, but for it to actually freeze for long enough, you need to deal a lot of more damage than this. Like, to the point of a sniper build, which at that point you're so far away, why would you need to slow down the enemy? They're already miles away from you. Another pretty bad upgrade, Hit and Run. Hit and Run is decent. I wouldn't say it's like D or C. I would say like B tier. Like B tier. But most builds, you don't actually need Hit and Run. Like, you could combine it with Power Shot, but aside from that, there's nothing much you can do with it. You can't use it in minigun builds. You can't use it in shotgun builds. Sniper builds, everything dies so quickly, you don't need to use Hit and Run. They just die before then. Basically, every single type of build just doesn't use Hit and Run. Finally, for Mage, this is like probably the most important one, because Divine Magic is complete garbage. One of probably the worst skill in the game. On top of that, we have Life Magic, which right here, Life Magic. Another completely terrible skill, probably the two worst skills in the game. Heal just is not worth going ever. And then Mirror Magic, another pretty bad one. Those three spells, yeah, never go them. Heal, it's complete trash. If it only heals you a little bit of the last damage you took recently. So it's not like if you have 0 health, you can just spam the heal. No, that's not how it works. Because it only heals some damage, not all of it. And if you wait too long, then it heals nothing. And then Transfusion, again, why would you need to heal somebody when you can go Iron Skin and stop them from dying? Mirror Magic, Teleport is good. Like, I would say this is one of the best skills for speedrunning, honestly, when you upgrade it, because when it's like this, it takes way too long. But Feedback is complete garbage. All this does is makes it so whenever an enemy hits you, or if you block their attack, they take damage. Look. Come on, buddy, hit me. See, they're taking damage, but barely anything. Now look, let me show you what happens if you use Life Magic, but wait a little bit too long. Like, I don't know. Most people don't know how to cast as fast as me, so let's just cast like a speed that some people cast at. I healed 20 HP and then I took damage instantly, which made me lose that HP. So what's the point of going Life Magic if it barely heals you? Oh, and one last bad upgrade, Coup de Grace. It's not bad, per se, it's okay, but overall, it just doesn't do enough damage. The reason why it doesn't deal as much damage as you would expect is because it's based on the amount of health that the enemy has. So right now, once this guy reaches 35% of his health, he dies. Look right here. and it does 99999. That looks like a lot of damage, right? Well, I want you to take a big look at how much health the enemy has when that happens. 75. So this 999 is actually dealing 75 damage. How long does it take to reach 75 damage? Um, done. That's it. That's how much it took. 3 hits. So you're wasting an upgrade slot for a little bit of damage. Of course, since it's percentage based, it depends on how much health the enemy has. But most enemies have armor. And armor piercing, that's kind of funny. I got armor piercing when talking about armor. But most enemies have armor, which is their main part that you want to kill. Right now I have coup de grace enhanced to 1, so they die at 35%. So let's look at this guy right here. We got Trickster. Hello, Trickster. See, he has 900 health. 35%, I don't feel like doing math. But you would expect right here, right? Well, let's get him down there. You see, he's already down to 35% of his health, right? No, that's his armor, not his health. So, and coup de grace, since it doesn't pierce through health, that means that this guy isn't dying one tap to that. So you still have to deal more damage before it triggers. And right there, he had almost no health. Almost nothing when they did the 999. So that upgrade is just not that good. One last thing I want to say about skill upgrades is don't overspend on an upgrade. You are given limited upgrades, so don't overspend on them. For example, I just said toughness is bad, but let's say you are going toughness. This gives you 2000 health. But then you could upgrade to 2500. This is already way too much health. You don't need that. Especially when you can just go something else for the defensive skills. Don't waste upgrades on that. You can instead lose out on 500 health, and then you'll deal more damage instead. With Rage, Quick Hit, Combo, anything like that. Again, and also on the topic of combo, if you're not making that many Iron Strikes, don't max out combo. You're not going to reach its max damage potential, so why max it out? I did that with my overpowered hammer build. I only did combo 1 because you're not likely going to hit combo 2 or 3's high damage numbers. So it's just never worth doing that. Just be wary of what upgrades you're choosing, and before picking an upgrade, ask yourself, do I actually need to upgrade that? Or am I okay with the current upgrade I have? Like, for example, follow-up. At level 2, I think it's 30 or 40%. At that point, you're already doing good enough. You don't need follow-up 3. You can probably just go charge 3 instead, which is always just a good upgrade. One last thing with bad upgrades is bad weapon choices. There's a lot of bad weapons in the game, way too many. I'm gonna make a tier list on all the weapons eventually, but I'll give you a quick little screenshot of like which weapons are good and which weapons are just better than the ones that are good. So the Grand Cudgel is a really powerful weapon, does 210 damage, but the Arbiter Warhammer does the same amount of damage plus 30. It's basically the same thing, it's just that the Warhammer does more, with no downside. So there's no reason to go the Cudgel if you have the Warhammer. And then there's also the Titan's Axe, the War Axe, whatever it was called, which just is the same thing as the Cudgel, but does less damage. So why would you go the Axe over the Cudgel, and why would you go the Cudgel over the Hammer? There's no reason to. Other pretty bad upgrades, the Assassin's Handbows, the dual-wielded handbows, those ones deal almost 0 damage, while the Zukanu crossbow does a little bit more damage, but has more arrows, so it's just better overall. For Mage, all of the melee weapons for mage, they suck ass, never go them. For faster hitting builds, the rapier is okay. I wouldn't say it's outclassed by anything because it's the only weapon with a very fast reload speed, but it's not the best. I wouldn't say that either. For just basic weapon upgrades from the Fang Blade, all of them are good except for that. I already forgot the name of it. This thing on screen. That thing is garbage. It has a really bad handling, and it's just a bad weapon overall. That's enough for bad weapon choices. But we're doing point 3 now, which is moving while fighting. This one's specifically for melee players, and by moving, I mean specifically moving backwards while fighting. So, I've seen a lot of people walk backwards while they are fighting an enemy. Why would you do that? Look at that, they leave your range, so then you have to get back in there. Let's take away ranged enemies. What about melee ones? These guys follow you all over the place, and you're moving backwards now. What do you get from doing this? All you do is get them further away from you, which means you can't deal damage. Yeah, that means they can't damage you either, but what do you gain from that? You gain nothing. All you do is slow down the game. If you want to move around from him so you can dodge his weapon. But you don't want to just walk backwards. You get nothing from this. And if anything, all it does is slow you down because now you could maybe miss an attack right there. Because I walked backwards, I missed my Ironstrike. So just stay still when you're fighting a melee. You don't want to move. And if there's the only times you should move is, for example, there's something behind you. You want to move to the side, so now they're both in front of you. But don't be walking backwards. You get nothing from doing this. Like right here, if I'm walking backwards... Oh, look at that. I missed my Ironstrike. So staying still. And just fight them like a man. So number 4 is for ranged and mage players. So we're gonna pick the bow for this one because it's easier to showcase it with this. This is for some reason something that not a lot of people know. Okay, so if you didn't know this, if you are reloading while moving, look at the speed. You reload pretty slowly, right? But if you stand still, look how much faster that is. Your reload speed lowers when you're moving. And I've seen a lot of archers always moving, which not only makes it harder to aim, but also lowers your reload speed. So as an archer, if you want to actually do better, stand still. When there's no enemies, stand still. Let yourself get reloaded, and then shoot. Stand still. Even if they're right in front of you, you reload fast enough that you can just out-damage them. You don't need to be full HP at all times. You can just you don't need to be full HP all the time. You can just take some damage, it's fine. But moving around too much makes you lose out on reload speed. Especially at the beginning of the round. If there's no enemies, stand still. You're reloading a little faster. And now you can continue fighting. And number 5, this one is probably the least important one, but it makes the game more fun. And it's be stylish. It's a lot more fun when you play with a little bit of style. Yeah. But you know, it's very simple. Just play in a fun way. Don't just shoot and do nothing. That's not as fun, and you'll not like the game as much. Let's go to melee real quick, because melee is the most stylish of them all. Like for example, with melee, a lot of people do this. What do you find fun in this? And then there's just regular swinging. This is okay, but it's not as fun. So why not do some cool things? When you're swinging, spin in a circle for a cool trick. Throw your weapon up. And throw your weapon up, grab it, slam them on the head or something. You can recall your weapon back for a cool trick right there. If it's not too far away, it just gets recalled back to your hand, so you can use that for some pretty cool things. If you throw it really far away, it reappears in your hand. So you can do like a little fake out. And of course, they're NPCs. They don't like react to it, but it's more fun for yourself. And then your clips look cooler. It's a lot more fun when you do this. This applies to every single weapon. Another thing with two-handed weapons, a lot of people do this, where you grab both hands and do this. This is not stylish at all. It's pretty stupid, and it's called windmilling. And what you want, but if you want to have more fun, keep it to like one spin. Let go of one hand. Or take circles around of yourself. Just have fun with it. Do what Ram and I do. Do a quick with one hand. Just push it. And continue with one hand, and only use your second hand to reposition it. Because if you do this, you might lose more. Because if you're too busy trying to style an enemy, then you might take more damage that was unnecessary. But the games are meant to be played for fun. So if you just want to look cool, then yeah, just look cool. Let me show you something. If you go to settings here, options, and scroll down here, turn on enable gift camera, and then press down both of your sticks here. You see these buttons here? You press them both down at the same time, and it'll enable this camera right here. And this will go around you for 12 seconds, and then save it to your gallery. So you can make pretty cool clips with this. And you know what? To finish this off, let me show you how to be stylish with the quarterstaff. I've gotten a few comments saying, can you make a video on how to use the quarterstaff correctly? And the reason I didn't want to make that video is mostly because I'm not the best quarterstaff player. I know the best quarterstaff player. His name is Ram. And he said that he was gonna make a video on it, on weapon handling. And I just want him to make it. I don't want to steal his video idea. So I didn't want to make it, but I'll give you a small hint on how it works. Just what I know, which is what he taught me. So you could do this. This is pinwheeling, but that's boring. It works it's very powerful though, I will say that. It's basically impossible for the enemy to even hit me anymore, because every block is now a heavy block. But it's not as cool. So what you actually want to do is use one hand. So all you have to do is learn how to spin it. All you have to do is this with your hand. And it will spin around. And all you have to do really is use your hand, your arm, your wrist to move around your quarterstaff. I'm left-handed, by the way. So your main hand is always on the quarterstaff. You grab it with your offhand, push it forward. You're gonna see that you're gonna get a bunch of momentum if you push it forward. So what you want to do is use that momentum to continue your one-handed spin. But yeah, no, that's five things that noobs do. I can't really say much else. Just don't do those things. Don't go swinging weekly because if you do swing weak, you suck. You're trash. And just don't be bad. Just be good. Okay. I don't know what else to say. I suck at intros and outros. Okay, I'm gonna end the video. Bye.